waiting to see the film. In North America, it's expected to pull in as much as $100 million in its first weekend of business. At the international box office, the Hunger Games are about to begin.
Tom Rook reporting from New York. Must admit I'm a bit of a Neo fight too, but my daughter is very keen. In fact, she's going to see the film tonight. It's any good? Well, maybe I'll go and have a look myself. Stay tuned, plenty more coming up on World Update. And coming up later in the programme, China promises to end the practice of taking organs for transplant from executed prisoners. Just how much have Chinese hospitals come to rely on the organs of the executed?
We don't actually know how many people are executed and how many organs come from executions. The estimates go from 2/3 to 90%. So it's the largest share of organs that are given and transplanted to patients actually come from people who have been executed.
Also coming up in the programme, officials in Brussels say EU foreign ministers have now agreed to impose sanctions on President Assad's wife Asma and other members of his family. These include a ban on travel to the EU and an asset freeze. Other headlines: 3 African countries are backing Nigerian Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to take over as president of the World Bank. And the British government setting out plans to introduce a minimum price for alcohol as it tries to tackle excessive drinking. You're listening to World Update from the BBC. I'm Roger Hearing. This week's general strike in Portugal comes at a time of growing political tension. The country's biggest trade union says the government's response to the economic crisis and recession is eroding jobs and living standards. Unemployment rates are set to rise and nearly 1/3 of young people are out of work. The Portuguese Prime Minister was recently criticised for suggesting that young people should simply leave the country. But many have been doing just that, and emigrating to former Portuguese colonies such as Brazil, Angola and Mozambique. Andrew Harding's been to meet some recent arrivals in Maputo, the capital of Mozambique.
Tropical beaches, grilled prawns, great coffee. Oh yes, and an economy growing by almost 8% a year. Who wouldn't be tempted by Mozambique?
It's good. It's a good country. Good people.
It's lunchtime in Maputo. The tables at this cafe are packed with young Portuguese digging into bowls of clams. But they're not holiday makers, they're job seekers.
It's possible to see that the economy is growing. People are coming every week. New companies arriving.
The ironies are obvious. 40 years ago, Portugal was the colonial power here. After independence, Mozambique was virtually destroyed by decades of civil war. It was much the same with nearby Angola. But now, both countries are booming, their economies fueled by the global demand for Africa's mineral wealth. And suddenly, thousands of struggling Europeans are turning up to knock on doors.
Well, it's funny to be here.
Are you escaping from Portugal?
A little bit, yes.
After almost 2 years on the dole in Portugal, 32-year-old Marcelo Charata has just landed a position as financial director of the Mozambican media company.
It's a safe gamble who came here to work. Each day Mozambique is growing. Each day is the opposite of Portugal. It's a lot.